Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you my July TBR. So these are all of the books that I'm hoping to get through this month. It's a very ambitious one, I'm not going to lie, and I'm probably not going to get through all of these books, but I'd really like to. So I'm going to start off with the books that I am currently reading, that I've just started. And the first one is Othello by William Shakespeare. This is the next Folger edition Shakespeare play that I'm going to be reading. I read Romeo and Juliet in June and loved it, so I'm really excited for Othello. This is a play that I'm not very familiar with. I've read like the introductory section of this book, so I kind of have an idea about what it's about now. A man called Othello and a woman called Desdemona who get married. They elope, I think, and a lot of people kind of disagree with their marriage because Othello and Desdemona are from very different backgrounds. I think they're of different races and different cultures. So there's someone, one of Othello's friends is trying to mess up their relationship by making Othello suspicious that Desdemona is being unfaithful when she actually isn't. And yeah, it's a tragedy, so I'm guessing they probably end up killing each other or something. The next book that I'm currently reading, I've just barely started it, is Mr. Peacock's Possessions by Lydia Sison. This is one that I've mentioned recently in my latest book haul, I believe, and this is a New Zealand historical fiction book. It's set during the 1800s when some European settlers have ended up on one of our volcanic islands, and a boat full of people from the Pacific Islands end up there as well. And it's kind of about them trying to band together as a new community, but then one of the young children goes missing, and apparently the island has secrets to hide, and it sounds very mysterious and very good, so I'm really excited to finish this one this month. The last book that I'm currently reading, I don't know how I'm starting 3 books at once at the moment, but they're all so different. This is a non-fiction book. It's Understanding the Victorians by Susie L. Steinbeck. This is for my history class next semester, but this is so interesting so far. It's set out kind of thematically, so there's a different chapter on different aspects of Victorian society, and even just reading the introduction to this book, the introduction used the piano as an example of how society was evolving throughout Victorian times. Initially they were all handcrafted and handmade, so they were quite rare. I think there was only like 500 or maybe 5,000, maybe 500, I don't know, pianos made every year, so it was only the very elite, socially high class wealthy families that would have a piano. And also, to be able to play the piano you had to have a lot of spare time, so you'd probably be someone who wasn't working, which again is another sign of high social class and wealth. And also piano music was not readily printed and readily available, so again you had to have a lot of money or a lot of time to transcribe the music yourself. And then as printing, like for music, became cheaper and more common, and pianos also were becoming more mass produced, and they started making smaller pianos for smaller houses and things like that. More of the like middle classes and then eventually the working classes had pianos as well. And the other point obviously is that to have live music, if you're going to have a party or something, you had to have a musical instrument, because they didn't have like gramophones or anything like that at that point in time. So yeah, it's so interesting to see how something like a piano can tell you so much about a society, and that was just from the introduction, so I'm really excited to continue reading this book. It's so fascinating. The next book on my TBR for this month is a really exciting one. It's Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is the Classics Clique book for the month. Classics Clique is my Classics Goodreads book club. If you want to join us, it's linked in the information bar down below, and this is the book that was voted on for this month. I'm so excited about it. It's, I think, a like gothic novel about a woman called Kathy and a guy called Heathcliff. They're kind of neighbours, I think, and they grew up together and were maybe in love, but now they're married to different people and have children with different people, and I think it ends up being a story about jealousy and things like that, and it just sounds very dark. I'm really excited to read it. Then next on my TBR is the other Shakespeare play that I hope to get through this month. To be honest, I've got a lot of them that I have to read for this class, so I might end up reading more or switching out the ones that I'm going to read, but the next one that I would love to get to is A Midsummer Night's Dream, and this is one that I've seen performed once or twice, and I've seen kind of adaptations of it in movies. It's always a very loose adaptation, but I really love this play anyway, so I'm really excited to read it. I believe it's a comedy. I might not be right about that. I think it's a comedy, but anyway, really excited to get to this one. Another book that I would love to get to this month, like love, I really hope I can, is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. This is a really long book though, so maybe I'll start it this month but not finish it. I'm not sure. How many pages is it? It's over 800 pages long, so realistically I'm probably not going to finish this month, but I would love to at least start reading it. But this one is about a young boy called Theo who's, I think his parents must die, he's orphaned and ends up living with a wealthy family friend in New York, and somehow gets drawn into a criminal underworld by a painting. So very intrigued by this one. I loved The Secret History, so I really want to read this one as well and see what I think of it. Then finally on my TBR are a couple of books that I have to read for a class that I'm doing next semester on post-colonial literature, which I'm not super psyched about just because the first book on that list is Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. This is a book that I unhauled like a couple of months ago, and then it ended up being on the reading list, so I had to purchase a copy. Not enthused about this. It's one that I've read twice, but I have no memory of what happens in it because I've found it very dull and also quite confusing. So gonna be attempting to reread this month. Hopefully it sinks in a little bit more, but I'm not really counting on it. The other one that I'm gonna try and read for that class this month, I think, is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. This one I have more faith in. It sounds quite interesting. Basically sounds like it's about an African warrior who is dealing with things within his own tribe, but then also dealing with outsiders that are kind of threatening their way of life. So I'm very curious to read this one. Much more enthused about this one than Heart of Darkness anyway. So those are all of the books that I'm hoping to get through this month. Wish me luck because it's a lot. And yeah, if you've read any of them, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would love to know. So thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you with another video in a couple of days. Bye.